everybody, and welcome to the next video in our Moodle 3.4 tutorial series. In this video, we're going to start exploring how to use assignments on Moodle. Assignments are a really important feature to have on Moodle because it helps to show how well the students understand all of the things that you've been teaching them. So to start, we're going to turn our editing button on by navigating to the upper right-hand corner, click on the gear, and choose Turn Editing On. Then we want to navigate to the section in which we want to add the assignment, and I'm going to work in my first week here, getting to know you, and click Add an Activity or Resource. Assignment is the very first option that you have here, so we're going to go ahead and click on that, press Add. I'm going to name my assignment A Little Bit About Yourself. And here in the description box is where you're going to put the actual assignment itself. So I'm going to put a little bit of text that I've already written here. So here's my text here. And it's basically just asking them to write me a paragraph and upload a Word document letting me know something unique about themselves. So I can add anything further here that I would like for them to have. If there's a document I want them to refer to, you can drag that here. If there's like a paper I need them to read first to answer questions for. An assignment really does work very similar to how a page works. So we can use our rich content editor to add additional content to our assignment. And this video is going to be very simple. I'm just going to show you how the basics work. But if you really wanted to, you could include a link in here to have them refer to a website. You could also put an image or a video for them to watch and answer certain questions. So there really is a lot you can do with creating an assignment. But just the basics of it is what I'm showing you right now. Let's scroll down a little bit here, and we have our availability section. And you can see some of the options that are here. The Allow Submissions From is when you want to start allowing students to be able to submit their paper. Due date is when it's due. The cutoff date is the date in which you will no longer accept this assignment. And a new feature is you can have Moodle remind you to grade this paper by a certain date that you set here. Now these options are not mandatory, so you can choose to enable or disable whichever ones you don't like. So I'm just going to choose to disable the due date and the remind me to grade by, and just leave my submissions date as today. But again, I can always make these changes and go in and change it at any time. The submission types box here is very important when it comes to creating an assignment. The submission type will tell Moodle what to provide for the student when they click on this assignment. So right now, since we are asking them to submit a paper, we want to keep file submissions checked off, because what Moodle is going to do is allow for the student to have a box to upload that file. If we chose to use the online text option, Moodle would just provide a box for the students to type in with a rich content editor where they can type their paragraph and send it along. Now I did set a word limit, but this option will only work if you do choose the online text option, and we'll show you what that looks like once we try this one. We have the maximum number of uploaded files, so if you want them to submit more than one document, you would change that from this menu here. Our maximum submission size is the site upload limit, and a new feature in Moodle 3.4 is the accepted file types, so you can choose which type of file that you want your students to submit. We have a few more options here that you can go through: the feedback types, different kinds of what kind of feedback do you want to allow for this particular assignment. Here in submission settings, you can choose whether you want to require the students to click the submit button, other things like that are in this section you can look over. Some group submission settings if you do have groups going on in your Moodle course. Notifications for you as the teacher. Do you want to notify graders about submissions? So you as the teacher, do you want to be notified when there's a submission, or if there's a late submission? You can choose whatever you prefer. Grade, we haven't set up our grade book yet, but we can choose how we want this to be graded. If we want to keep it on points and what our maximum grade is. So our max grade is going to be 100 for this. And I usually leave everything in this section as is, unless I have a very specific way of grading. And we don't have any grade categories yet, but I will show you how to do that in a later video. And there's just a few other options here that you can look through and modify depending on what you prefer. But in terms of a basic assignment, that is really all you need to set. So when you're happy with the way that it looks, you press Save and Return to Course. And if you click on A Little Bit About Yourself, you'll see our description and our title, and the students will have a button there when they're able to submit. So let me show you what that looks like. I'm actually going to go to the top here and log in as a student. So I'm going to switch role to student. And once I log in, I'm going to scroll down and click on the assignment a little bit about yourself, and you'll notice that the students now have an option to add the submission, and they can drag and drop their file in here or add it using the file picker. Now I'm going to go back to my normal role. So then I want to show you one other way. I want to show you the online text option for adding an assignment as well. So I'll turn my editing button on. I'm going to scroll down back to that assignment, and from this edit menu, choose edit settings. And now next to in submission types, I'm going to get rid of the file submissions and choose online text instead. And I would like to enable a 500 word limit, so that way it will give them a box, but they can't go past 500 words. And I'm not going to make any other changes besides that. So I'm going to save and return to course. And just to show you what that looks like, I'm going to switch the role again to a student and click on that assignment so you can see what they see. So now, instead of them getting a box to upload a paper or a file, if you click Add Submission, now they get their own rich content editor, and they can then type whatever they like in here and submit the changes that way. And with the word limit that we set, it won't let them go past 500 words. So once more, I want to return back to my normal role, and I'm going to now click on the assignment just so you can see when students do submit their assignments, you would click View All Submissions, and then all of your options would be in here, and you can grade everything inside of the assignment itself. So right now we don't have any assignments to grade, but when we go through the gradebook, I'll show you a little bit more about grading in the gradebook and grading inside of assignments. So as you can see, there are a few options that you can choose when you are adding an assignment. It's great that you can add images and links and videos and anything you can use to try to make that assignment more interesting for the student and something that they will get a lot out of. It's also really great for you as the teacher because it gives you an idea of how well they are understanding everything you're teaching them on your Moodle course.